Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa. If you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. It is Christmas Eve. Future me just coming in to say that it is Sunday, but I haven't done a Sunday chat video yet because Mum's here. And again, with the whole when there's people here, editing and filming is really difficult. So this is the video that has all the food that I made for Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and things like that, and I'll get it edited and up, and then I'll catch up with the Sunday chat and things like that, post that along with everything else that I want to do. But me being me, I didn't preemptively film anything prior to Christmas. I film in real time, real life, and that means that I have a bit of a break. So I did film all this for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, but didn't get it edited because Mum came to visit and I was exhausted after it all. So I'm going to share this one and then I will see you guys on the next video. I'll definitely will have an end of year sort of beginning of January video, last Sunday squirrels / New Year's type thing coming out. But in the meantime, enjoy this one and I will see you guys on the next one. So I am going to record all the last minute prep for today. At the moment, I am cooking myself some lunch first. It's already 11:30. I'm getting a late start on the day. There's a few things that we needed to get done this morning, put a video out this morning and all that sort of stuff. But there's lots of prep stuff that I want to get done today for later on this evening or tomorrow. So we're going to get that sorted. First of all, I'm going to have some lunch. Now, Sonnet did pit the rest of the cherries for me. So I've got the rest of the cherries in a pot here that I'm going to add sugar to and cook these down. And I'm going to make a bit of a cherry compote jam type thing to use either in some desserts or I thought a Pop-Tart type thing with the cherry jam would be really nice as well. So we're going to do that. We did freeze a whole lot of them yesterday as well to use later, but these ones I'm going to cook down. So I'm just going to add some, I just found a pit that she missed. So I'm just going to add some sugar, a decent amount of sugar, and we'll get them on the stove to start simmering while I have breakfast. All right, the cherries are still simmering. The kids want to decorate the gingerbread, so I'm going to make up some simple icing. I'm not going to do royal icing, partly because I don't have a huge amount of spare eggs at the moment. So I'm going to do just a basic sugar cookie icing that still has a little bit of a firmness to it. We'll see how we go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 cups of powdered sugar. It's probably, I'm going to split it into a bunch of colours, which is why I'm doing this much. It's probably more than we need and there'll be leftovers, but it'll be fine. Yeah, we will want bowls. And then I'm going to add, all right, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. And we're going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of almond. Yeah, I might have to cut it. And then we want some corn syrup, glucose syrup, honey, that sort of thing. Now, corn syrup will set up the hardest, glucose syrup's the next best thing. Honey will go quite soft and give it a honey flavour. I don't really want that. So I've got some glucose syrup. We're just having trouble getting the jar open. So once I get that open, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of that as well.
There you go, Mommy.
Thank you. And a whisk, please. So the glucose syrup will help to keep it shiny, but also will help with that setting up, stops the sugar from crystallizing and stuff too. So we'll get this off and then we'll whisk all this together and have a look at the texture. And we can always add a little bit more milk if need be because we want to be able to pipe it. And because we're using cup measures with the icing sugar, then that's never particularly accurate. So definitely going to need a bit more milk. We don't want to go too far because I don't want to be adding any more icing sugar because we're already going to have more icing than we need. Now we're going to split it into some bowls.
However many colors you have.
I I don't know how much of each we'll have. And then we're going to colour each one, and I bought disposable, the plastic piping things that you can just snip the ends off. So that is going to be the goal. Yeah. So just put a couple of drops of each of these gel colours, which isn't really easy because the lids just do not come off very easily. And then a spatula here. Now, I don't know if they've ended up a little thin with the colour added, but it's going to be what it is. So now we're just going to pour them into their own bags.
Green first, because green's ugly.
Green first. So we're just going to put them all in their own little bags. I'm going to have to wash this spatula between each colour. And then I'm going to send the kids over to the table. They can snip off the ends. So we're just going to go ahead and fill all the colours. Alright, so the kids have done the decorating. This jam has set up nicely by the looks of it. I'm trying to decide whether I put it straight in jars or not, because I don't think I want to use it as jam. I think I want to use it in Pop-Tarts over the next few days, like maybe like Boxing Day or something, and some in the trifle perhaps. So I think I'm just going to put it in a Pyrex bowl and use it from the fridge. I don't think I'm going to can it. Because I purposely left it nice and chunky. It's thickened up really nicely. But it looks like I've got too much for this container anyway. So I may end up having to... There's a few pits in here too, I've noticed. I think I should be able to just fit it all in here. It's lovely and glossy and super sweet and sticky, which is what I was going for. So this one might have actually set up as jam. I might have actually got it to 105. I'm going to put a lid on this and put this in the fridge to use however I want over the next week. And if there's some left, I'll just freeze it. I have even taken a little bit too far by the texture of the fruit, but you know, we'll use it however we end up using it. So lid on, and I will let this cool a little bit before I heat up my fridge with it. I've got bacon out defrosting because I'm going to slice this up and fry that off as bacon bits to use for the seafood salad and the potato salad tomorrow. So I'm going to get that done preemptively. The other thing I need to do is the jelly and the custards for the trifles. So I want to do a chocolate and a vanilla custard because I haven't quite decided what I'm doing yet in regards to the trifle. So I will do one of each, and then I'll probably use the egg whites to make some meringues. We'll see how we go. It's very, very hot today and I'm not feeling 100%. Alright, I'm going to start the custards first. I've been letting the eggs room temperature a little bit. I've got 2 egg yolks. I'm doing just a small batch because I want to do a vanilla custard and a chocolate custard. So we're just going to do the vanilla one first. I'm just going to throw it in the Thermomix. I just throw everything in there and then let it cook. So I want 375 grams of milk approximately, a couple of egg yolks, about 100 grams of sugar, a good whack of vanilla, and then we will put about 40 grams of cornstarch. Get a nice thick custard, and then I'm just going to cook it for about 9 minutes, about 90 degrees, about speed 3, and that'll be done. And then after that we will do a chocolate one instead as well. And the rest, and what else I'm going to do is I'm going to use these eggs whites to make some meringues. So I'm going to separate the last 2 eggs for the next batch of custard. Just done that in the wrong bowl. I just did it again. Keep the egg yolks separate to the whites. And then you shall use the other Thermomix to make the meringue. I just need to plug it in because it doesn't appear to be at the moment. So all we're going to do is we're going to grind up some sugar. We will do 220. Alright, and I'm just going to grind that. Alright, I'm going to grind that up just for like 10 seconds to get that nice and fine. And then we're going to add the 4 egg whites and a pinch of salt with the butterfly. Pinch of salt, butterfly in, 4 egg whites, and then we just set it for 6 minutes. We'll do it at 37 degrees, which is just sort of room temperature, and about 3.5. We'll see until it's stiff. Alright, we got the thick vanilla custard, so this is going to be chilled now. It will mean that I'll have to whisk it after it's chilled before using it because it will go lumpy, but I want it chilled anyway. So I'm going to scrape this out into something to chill, and then we'll make a quick chocolate one as well. Alright, I'm putting a layer of cling wrap onto the surface of the custard to stop it from forming a skin as it chills, and then I will let it cool a little bit before I put it in the fridge, and we will make a chocolate batch. Now I'm going to make the chocolate exactly the same way, except that I'm going to put about 50 grams of chocolate into the bowl and grate it up, and then add all the ingredients to make the chocolate custard. I might bump the milk up just a little bit, but basically the same process. So the meringues, the 6 minutes finished, and it's nice and I think I'm going to take it just a little bit longer. It doesn't look quite stiff enough for me to be able to pipe, so I'm going to put it on for a couple of minutes more, and we'll see if that'll just stiffen up a little bit more. And yeah, I'm just going to do, say, 50 grams of dark chocolate in there. We'll grate it up to make it easier to melt, and I'm not washing the bowl or anything. I'm just going to throw everything in the same. So we've got our egg yolks. I'll do about 450 in milk, and might do about 75 in sugar because we've got the chocolate in there as well, and the 40 odd in cornstarch. You can be pretty loose with custards when you're cooking it in the Thermomix because the Thermomix just makes it easy. So I'm just going to scrape down any chocolate that went up the edges, and then I'm going to do the same. It's smaller batch than normal, so it didn't take the full 9 minutes. It took about 7. So I'll do 7, 90, speed 3. Oh, I have lid on. Having some problem with the meringue, and I think a lot of it is the temperature. So it's only set to 37 degrees, so room temperature, except that is the room temperature at the moment. So because of the spinning motion and everything else, it's heating the bowl up, and it's getting up to 50 degrees, and I can't seem to get it quite as stiff as I would like. Probably just going to have to deal with the texture. It's not changing. I've done it a few different times, but I think it's just too hot, and so it's melting as it's trying to whip up. So that's fine. The purpose of this is to make meringues, and the purpose of the meringues was to be able to break up for like Eaton's Mess type things if I decided that's what I wanted to go with some of the trifle. So that'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to fill a piping bag. I need a cup. Just going to fill piping bag. We want the oven on, but almost not on, which is going to be the other problem with trying to get temperature, because we want the oven on like 100, and I don't know if my oven's even capable of heating but staying that low. So this is definitely a bit runny. All right, and all I'm going to do is yeah, it's very wet. Lucky I'm not intending anything fancy with these. It's purely to cook to use. So we just wanted a small amount so that I could do that. So I'm going to throw these in the oven on low, and we've got our chocolate custard hasn't quite finished setting up. So I'm going to throw that on for a little bit longer. All right, that's thickened up enough. I'm sick of waiting, basically, and it's not going to. It'll set up further in the fridge. So, and we're just going to stick this in the fridge as well for tomorrow. Right, next thing I'm going to do is dice up this kilo of bacon and fry it off into bacon bits. I'm hoping that by doing all this today in this heat, and I'm feeling pretty crappy, but by doing it all today, it means that I won't have to do it all tomorrow, so I'm hoping that by getting as much done as I am today, that I might be able to have a little bit of a break tomorrow, which is rare. Normally Christmas Day I sort of run around like chook with its head cut off, trying to get everything done because I feel like I have to. And it'd be really nice to not have to do that tomorrow, especially if it's as hot as it is today. So I just pushing myself a little bit today, have an early night tonight, and see if it allows me to have a bit more time tomorrow of doing nothing while everyone else is doing nothing. So that's the aim anyway. So I'm just going to cut this up fairly small because I want it to be little chewy bacon bits, and I will use some of it in the potato salad and some in the seafood salad tomorrow. I will steam my potatoes and stuff when I make it tomorrow because I do like the potato salad warm the first time. Like, it is nice warm. We eat it cold once it's been in the fridge, but it is nice when it has that little bit of warmth to it initially. So, especially if we're doing predominantly cold meats for lunch, with the warmer potato salad is nice. Alright, so the rinds off all of those. So yeah, I'm just going to do it into little strips, bite-sized pieces, crisp it all up in the cast iron low and slow so that it ends up sort of tasty, crunchy, but also chewy, not overcooked. And then I will put it all in the fridge to use tomorrow. So we'll get that done. I did want to make tiramisu, but I don't think I'm going to. I think we've got enough, and I will make it maybe for New Year's. Maybe I'll do that as a New Year's thing. But I do need to make the jelly for the trifle. I'm going to use this cranberry pomegranate juice to make that. So I'm going to heat up half of it approximately to a simmer, put the other half in a bowl. We will bloom the gelatin in this bowl, heat this one, and then add it to this one and whisk it through. So we'll put this on the stove. I'm not making trifle today, I'm just making all the parts. Ken, if you want. All right, I'm going to use around about 25 grams of gelatin. That did not weigh anything at all for some reason. So hopefully, don't know, the scales didn't change for a long time there. So we've got the gelatin on top here. We're going to bloom that. I'm going to find a whisk or clean a whisk. Once the other juice is warm, we'll whisk it through it as well, and then I'll pour it into something a bit flatter to set up. The only other thing I need to do is the jam roll. So I need to try one of those cake things again that didn't work the other day. Well, it was fine, but it wasn't quite right. I'm going to try rolling it in a tea towel this time, but I have the meringues in the oven at the moment, so I need to wait for them to finish before I do that. So For now, the bacon is almost done and this will be done, and then that's it for the moment. All right, so this is just bubbling slightly. I've whisked the gelatin into the bloomed liquid. Just going to put the hot liquid in there and finish dissolving it all. That. And then, thank you. Do you want to find something to put the jelly in? Maybe like 2 of those coloured ones that we normally set jelly in or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah?
And I'll also find a flat spot on the bottom of the fridge today.
Pardon?
Yeah, and I'll also find a flat spot on the bottom of the fridge today.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that is fine now. It's just going to be transferred to a bowl to do it. Now, the other, dinner is what it's 3 o'clock. I'm going to make some of my pizza dough up, and we're going to do the hot dog sausages that we got left split in half with the string cheese and wrapped in the dough, like a wrapped hot dog thing. We wanted to give it a go, so I'm going to make some pizza dough up to do that with, and we'll see how we go with that, rather than pulling extra meat and stuff out at the moment. So I'm going to mix some of that up. It is pouring rain and I have no idea. You can hear from me because of the rain, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing for dinner. So what I've done is I've slit the hot dog sausage in half and put half a string cheese stick in there. This is the dough. I purposely did it a little bit stiffer than normal, because what I'm going to do, let me just weigh out a portion. We'll do about 100 grams worth each. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out. For some reason my rolling pin is not where it should be. What I want to do is I want to get it to full length like that. Then I'm going to cut some strips in the top like that. I'm going to lay it cheese side down and fold it in like that. And I'm going to brush the top with some garlic butter. I think that will look really cool. We shall see. Might be a complete and utter fail, but that will look really cool. Now, I'm not going to put any tomato product or anything in here, which I normally would when I'm doing these sausages in dough, because I don't want it to seep out everywhere. I want them to seal up fairly well with the cheese in them. And what I'll do is I'll do something that they can be dipped in. So yeah, that's what I'm going to attempt to do anyway. Right, I got the meringues out. They've been in there for a couple of hours. They have created a skin, but they've split a little bit. It definitely just wasn't as firm as it needed to be, so they're still a little soft on the inside, but it's fine because what I want to use them for is to break them up anyway. So they're going to have some softer sort of pavlova-y bits and the harder meringue stuff on the outside, and it'll work for what I need it to work for. The buns, the sausage buns have proofed and they're nice and puffy, so I'm going to throw these in the oven now. I'll show you these. So they're lovely and puffy, and I've got a couple of my garlic confit cubes out to melt, and I will brush it over the top once they're baked. So I'm going to throw them in the oven, probably about 25 minutes, and then I'll brush them with this and put a bit of sesame seeds on them or something afterwards as well, I think, and that will be dinner. So the only thing I didn't get done today was the sponge roll, which I will do in the morning because it'll have time to cool down and everything before I can make trifle like lunchtime-ish or whatever. Otherwise, I do have the gingerbread one though that I'm going to move out of the freezer into the fridge now. So I can always use that to make trifle and do the sponge another time or not. We'll see. I did want to try it again though, because I got some clean tea towels out and I was going to try rolling it in a tea towel. Now, being Christmas Eve, I'm not going to edit tonight, so this video will probably not come out Christmas Day because I think that's silly. So I don't know when this one will come out as such, but I don't know whether this will be enough in one video or whether I'll keep on adding the Christmas cooking tomorrow, because it probably will be really brief stuff added tomorrow for the Christmas cooking. So we shall see, and I hope everyone has a great Christmas, and I will see you after Christmas. And yeah, so thanks guys. Almost cooked through. I just mixed a little bit of ghee with the garlic confit, and I'm just going to put it over them and then throw them back in for another 5 minutes, and then they will be done. Just like that. Look pretty damn good. Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas morning. I'm going to just film bits and pieces as I can, as I do. I'm not going to be pushing myself to film everything that I do. But I will try and get some snippets of all the important stuff. The kids have already opened up their gifts for this morning. They got Nerf guns, so they're spending most of their time running around shooting each other. I'm not a huge fan of Nerf guns, but the kids adore them, and you know, Christmas is about the kids. So we rechlorinated the pool the other day as well, so we'll get the pool filter going on that shortly, and they should be able to use that today. It is supposed to be quite warm today, mid to high 30s, which is a little unfortunate, but that's life. So first thing I'm doing, so it's only 9:20. I've pulled eggs out of the fridge because I want to boil them for potato salad, and it's easier to boil them from room temperature. So I'm just letting them warm up a bit, and in the meantime I'm cutting up the potatoes, and I'll steam these for potato salad. Now, I make a big batch of potato salad because we eat it for the next few days. It's one of the things that goes in the fridge and gets pulled out with ham and whatever else for the next few days. So doing a big batch. Now, I bought this steamer pot, the kettle that I didn't end up buying in store, but I ended up ordering online when they had $25 off, and then there was a big 60% sale. They had these steamer pots. It's 2 layers with a base, and it's this lovely, massively wide steamer pot, and everything steams in it so quickly. This is fantastic. Highly recommend this. This was marked down to like $60 from 100 and something or 200 and something. Stainless steel. I bought those bamboo steamers, but I know that they're only short term. They won't have longevity here because we're too humid. They will go moldy. No matter how I store them, no matter how I dry them, they will go moldy. So they're a novelty to make the gyozas and stuff that I want to make. They impart a flavour to the things you're steaming. So I really wanted to give them a go with the new wok, but this will be long term. So I've got a mix of white and red potatoes in here. All I'm going to do is steam them. Then I will probably look at mixing up my different mayo dressings. So I need a potato salad mayo dressing and a seafood salad mayo dressing that has a bit of Worcestershire and stuff in it, because I'm not sure how many eggs I'm going to have left over, because I did want to make that sponge roll, but we are a little short on eggs at the moment because the goannas have come back. So we're going out a few times a day to collect eggs, and some days we'll get 18 eggs and some days we'll get 3. So that's a bit of a pain in the bum. But I'm not buying eggs because we will do without. So I'm going to get these onto steam. We want them fork tender but not falling apart, so that when we mix the potato salad up, they hold their shape. You can steam them whole and then cut them, and they do end up a little bit more firm. But honestly, I don't mind if some of it breaks down in the potato salad, because then it just thickens the coating on the potatoes anyway, because it like combines itself with the mayo and thickens it. So anyway, we'll get these onto steam, and yeah, I'll just bring you along in snippets as I'm doing stuff. Alright, so I'm going to make 2 different mayos. Both will have a similar base. So we're going to put a healthy dollop of mustard in the potato salad one, and a little bit in the seafood salad one. Not quite as much. We're not measuring though, we're just winging it because that's what I do. We're going to add cowboy candy into both. Again, a little bit more in the potato salad and just a splash in the seafood salad. I'm going to use lemon juice in both. I'm going to put a pinch of salt in both, except I need salt. Pinch of salt in both. Okay, and this is going to be our base for both of these. The potato salad one, I might add a little bit of paprika, I think. We will, and a bit of garlic, like half a teaspoon of each probably. And going to call that good. Now this is going to have some ketchup and some Worcestershire sauce added to it as well to make it that pink seafoody salad, but I think that will be enough flavour then as is. So this one we'll start with, and we'll just do what we normally do with the olive oil and blend it up. Let me grab my blender. So all we do is blend up the yolks. I'm using duck yolks, which lead for a really nice creamy. So I blended that up, and then I'm just going to drizzle the olive oil. Once it gets to a certain thickness, you can then add a glug at the top and just pull it through slowly. Now we actually want this a little bit thinner because we're using it as potato salad dressing, but it has thickened right up. But what we can do is we can actually cut that with some sour cream, which will thin it out as well, so that's fine. So then we have the seafood one. And I was just thinking that I might actually add a little bit of smoked paprika to that too, because that will complement the sweetness of the ketchup and stuff too. But actually no, I won't, because the Worcestershire has some smokiness to it. So we'll leave it at that. Just thinking while I'm, doing. So yeah, we'll probably cut this with some sour cream because it has just ended up really, really thick, which happens sometimes and not others. This mustard jar is empty, which is why I'm sticking the thing back in it. Same thing here, except I need a new olive. Right, we've blended this one. I'm now going to add a generous amount of ketchup to it and some Worcestershire. Which I have my homemade Worcestershire made with plums on there as well, and then we're going to keep blending. And we've got this lovely pink seafood sauce. Turn the potatoes off, they should be fine. I've washed these eggs because they're eggs from our chickens, and I don't want, it's been raining and stuff, so I want to make sure the eggs are nice and clean going into the water. I've only got a dozen here. As I said, we're a bit low on eggs. I would normally have done more than a dozen. I would normally do 2 dozen or 3 even if we had an abundance of eggs, but we just don't. So that's life. We've got a dozen in here that I'm going to boil. And now normally I put them in cold water, I bring it up to a boil for 4 minutes, and they're done as a soft but solid boiled egg. But because these have been in the fridge, I'll probably do them for 5.5 minutes once it comes to a boil. So I'll just put them in like this, eggs are in the water, bring it to boil, start the timer once it's boiling. What we're going to do is cut up some celery for the seafood salad. Now, some of the kids really don't like celery, but I really like celery, and seafood salad has celery in it. And so if they choose to eat around it, then that's their choice. Whatever. But I cut it up nice and fine so that you get those little crunches in each mouthful when you're eating the seafood salad. Now I washed this and wrapped it in foil because of course I did the shopping a couple of weeks ago now, a week and a half ago, whatever it was. So I needed to keep it fresh. So it's been washed, wrapped in foil and left in the fridge. And as you can hear, it's still lovely and crunchy. If I was using it for soup bases or whatever, then I just freeze it and it doesn't matter if it's a little bit limp. But for seafood salad, I purposely kept it wrapped in foil in the top of the fridge, not the bottom, so it didn't freeze, so that we could have this nice crunchy celery in the seafood salad that nobody else but me will appreciate. But that's fine, because, you know, some things have to be cooked for me to appreciate them too. And I'm just cutting any marks out that may have happened from it being stored, just for aesthetics purposes. This is the seafood extender we use. So it is faux crab. It is imitation crab, whatever you want to call it. It is predominantly fish, and then some thickening agents and stuff. But it is 42% fish, and then it's got some starches and stuff in it. No, it's not, you know, the most fantastic food product in the world, but it is supremely tasty and we really enjoy it. I bought 2 of these. You buy them frozen, so I bought 2. I pulled this one out of the freezer yesterday and we will use it, and then at some point during the month we will use the other one, either as another seafood salad, or the kids like it in sushi. So we'll do something with the other packet at some point. So all I do is I slice it and then I just flake it into the salad. Yeah, seafood salad, seafood extender, imitation crab, whatever you want to call it.
I've actually had crab before.
Yeah, we do buy the tubs of crab from Costco occasionally. You can buy crab claws from Costco, so you have tried it, but...
Does it taste similar, or...?
It's a lot stronger. Real crab's a lot stronger than this, but it has a similar flavour profile and a similar texture. I kind of decided this year that instead of doing a cooked breakfast or something and then having a late lunch and then not wanting to do anything at dinner, I'm starting this now, and we'll probably end up having an early lunch and a normal dinner rather than cooking a breakfast. So the next thing I need to do is, can you grab one of the turkeys out of the fridge, please? So I did get a rolled turkey. I got 2 rolled turkeys. My neighbour got them for me because I forgot to get them. One's stuffed and one's plain. I'm going to cook one of them with this meal, and I'm also going to boil some prawns and have them cold with the seafood sauce. So that's what we're going to do. And then we've got the ham. So we've got ham, seafood salad, potato salad, turkey, and prawns. That's going to be lunch. Sort of, you know, a mix of serve yourself, and then we'll sort out desserts as like the after lunch thing. So I checked it was defrosted, so check what temperature the oven needs to be on for me. Bacon isn't classically in the seafood salad, like the Sizzlers one or anything like that, but I really like adding that extra texture to it as well, and the saltiness and stuff. So we've got the flaked seafood salad. We'll put half the bacon in, the other half will go in the potato salad, and we'll put the seafood sauce on, making sure to keep some for dipping the prawns in as well. And then this will go in the fridge until we're ready, and once the eggs are boiled, I'll get that sorted too. We've got our steamed potatoes. I'm going to throw the rest of this bacon in and the bits of bacon fat that are in the bottom, because the potatoes are warm, so it's going to melt all this fat and it will go through the potato salad, which will be nice. So that will melt through there. I'm going to peel my eggs. I've got sour cream to go with the salad dressing. So I'll put that in, as well as the majority of this. I'll assess once I've stirred it up. All right, so then we've got some spring onions as well. I'm just going to peel back because they've been sitting in the fridge, I'm just going to peel back some of these less pleasant green bits and dice them really nice and fine. Get rid of some of the ends that aren't real great either. Just diced really nice and fine so we get that little bit of an oniony flavour, but not too much of the texture, because the texture is not really my thing in this sort of thing. And then I'm just going to peel the eggs. Alright, so we've got all the warm potato, the bacon, the spring onions, the boiled eggs, and that is the potato salad done. So now I'm going to transfer this into a bowl that can go in the fridge, and this will go in the fridge as well. The rest of this mayo can go, get a lid on it and go in the fridge as well to be used for whatever we want to use it with. I'm still boiling the water for the prawns. The turkey is in the oven. And that's sort of all I'm doing, other than slicing up the leg ham. So I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Right, my mic's nearly out. I need to do some charging. But prawns boiled, got them in a bowl with some ice to quick chill, and I might throw the whole bowl in the freezer if I've got room, just for 15 minutes to get a quick chill. I like to sprinkle everything with a bit of salt because the ice is going to melt and there's going to be some water. So I like to do a little bit of salt, and then these will chill. So I'm going to put these on to cool while we finish the turkey. So the turkey has about 40 minutes left, and then we will probably serve lunch, which will be about 11:30. So as I said, an early lunch, and that way dinner can be just at a normal time, and rather than worrying about a cooked breakfast and a late lunch and whether we do dinner or leftovers or whatever. So that's it for the moment. So I didn't end up getting anything done during the day. We did lunch. We're going to have leftovers for lunch, but I haven't even put the trifle together, and I didn't end up making another sponge roll, which I can do at another time. So for the moment, all I'm going to do is piece together a trifle out of what I've got, and we will just do other stuff over the week. So now the cherry jam, I had a whole lot of problem with the other jams not setting up. I still didn't get the cherry jam to 105, and yet it has set to almost a chewy lolly consistency. So I was going to use it drizzled in here, but it's not going to be able to be. So I did cut up some mangoes that were left on the table. These I didn't realize how many were that hadn't been eaten. They are very, very ripe. But they will be fine in the trifle. I've got my custards and I've got my jellies, and we will just make it work. So I'm going to just cut up the jelly. We're going to layer it with the custard, and my chocolate custard didn't set up very well either for some reason, but it's fine too. We're going to use the chocolate custard on this bottom layer. Do you want to get a spoon for that? To soak into the cake, because the cake's been frozen and the chocolate custard is quite liquidy. So what we will do is we will put some jelly, some chocolate custard, fruit. I've got the meringues. We're just going to layer it all up, and it'll be tasty. So the meringues they're a little bit like marshmallow in the middle, but they have a crunchy outer. So these will be nice for texture scattered through.
I got spoons for custard.
Yeah, so put a little bit of jelly in the bottom of the bowl.
How much is a little?
Just some jelly in the bottom. So we'll be generous with jelly because I made plenty. Yeah, and then we will pour some of the chocolate custard that really didn't thicken up for some reason, but it's still thick. It's just not as thick as it could be. We're going to put a layer of that in. Then we will put some chunks of the meringue.
Another one?
Yeah, just break it up and scatter it. Smaller pieces than that. No. some of this
Very ripe
mango, like that. We'll put another layer of cake.
Damn, that looks tasty. What is that again? Trifle.
And we'll repeat the process until we've filled it up with however much we have to fill it up. Even if it doesn't end up full, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to do that. To the last layer we mixed the chocolate and the vanilla custard together for that last layer. We've got some lovely pretty layers in the trifle. Now I'm going to whip some cream up. I had a bit more of the meringue here, and I don't know, maybe I'll cut up some of the Dubai chocolate or something, maybe some of that to go on the top as well or something. So I've just got a bottle of cream, got the butterfly in the Thermomix. We'll whip it up. I'll whip the whole thing up because we'll use it for the little pavlovas, which we'll probably have tomorrow. Don't need to have them as well as trifle today. And we'll just stick it on manual mode. We've got the butterfly in there. To do it on speed 4, and it only takes like 20 seconds. I'm just going to check it at the 20-second mark because it's really easy to go from cream to butter in the Thermomix. I'm going to go a bit longer. 30 seconds, we might need 10 seconds more. It's thick, but it's not quite spreadable thick. So that was 40 seconds, and to me it sounds like it should be about right. Yeah. So we got thick whipped cream there. So, a spatula. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread it over the try not to just dollop it all in the same spot because you won't be able to spread it then. Yeah. So it works if you grab a dollop and you put it in different spots, so that you can then spread it all to meet each section, rather than putting it all in the middle and then trying to just put a bit more on and spread it as needed. That chocolate custard's a bit thin, so it's not layering as well as it could be. Doesn't really matter if there's a bit of chocolate in it. All good? Alright, and then I'm going to cut up some of this Dubai chocolate to go over it as well. I'm cutting it into nice fine slivers, and we're going to mix it with the meringue for the top. Now, part of the reason that I did all these baking things in the lead up to Christmas, you want to sprinkle the 2 of those on, was because on Christmas Day I tend to just fail to get everything done because it's Christmas Day. So by having done all these bits and pieces in the lead up, I don't feel as bad about the fact that
you did almost nothing, but you still made all the lunch and this stuff.
Yeah, so we had a laid back sort of a Christmas Day, and you know, that's fine. So I'm going to put that bit back in the freezer for me.
You mean my mouth?
Oh, I don't care, whatever. Apparently her mouth is the freezer at the moment. So that's all done. So I am pretty happy with that. I got a little bit of whipped cream here that I'm going to put in a container so that we can use it for something else. But the layers of this, let me see if I can get a decent shot of that. Pretty little layers. So we're going to glad wrap this, and it'll go in the fridge until it's 5:30, so we'll probably eat by 6ish and then have this 6:30, 7 o'clock, so just long enough for that cake to absorb some of the custard and stuff. And yeah, so that's what we did. So that was our Christmas Day. I'm not doing anything else today. That is all our food, and we will do anything that we didn't get done today over the next week while Mum's here, which is also the bonus of having Mum here, is that I go to the effort to do some of the fancier stuff as well because she's here. I hope everyone had a great Christmas, and I hope it was a bit cooler in other people's places, and I will see you guys on the next video.